back in your vehicle now. I don't care who you are, get back in your vehicle. Back up. Back up.
Alright, bud, that's enough. Go. Get out of here.
Back in your car, we said.
Get in your vehicle.
I don't care who
Get in
you
your
are, get
vehicle.
back in your
Go. Sir, we can stay on the sidewalk. I don't know who the fuck you think you are. Get in your vehicle. Get in your vehicle.
You're impeding the law enforcement investigation. Get back in your vehicle right now. Right now. Where's your vehicle?
Right here.
Get in it. Get in your vehicle. Don't get out.
You guys have been warned.
Immigration enforcement operations continue in Minneapolis as calls for de-escalation grow. Early Wednesday morning, federal agents confronted activists on a North Minneapolis street. As an apparent enforcement vehicle was identified, protesters blew whistles and followed it for several blocks. When the vehicle stopped, tensions escalated quickly. Agents ordered Associated Press journalists to return to their car, threatening arrest despite the reporters identifying themselves as media. From inside their vehicle, journalists witnessed officers deploy a chemical irritant. One person was sprayed and later seen wiping their face. Another individual was detained. It remains unclear whether those involved were the targets of the operation or protesters caught in the confrontation. The scene was left marked by shattered glass and heightened fear. The clashes come as political tensions intensify. U.S. President Donald Trump warned Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey that he is playing with fire after the mayor said the city would not enforce federal immigration laws. Frey defended his position, saying police should focus on public safety rather than immigration enforcement. The White House pushed back, saying it is only asking local authorities to cooperate with ICE detainers. These confrontations follow the fatal shooting of Alex Pretti by federal agents. A preliminary federal review confirms 2 Border Patrol agents fired their weapons after deploying a chemical irritant and attempting to detain Pretti. The report does not state that Pretti brandished a weapon, contradicting earlier claims from Trump administration officials. As investigations continue, Minneapolis remains on edge, with tensions high between enforcement, protest, and growing demands for accountability.
Video from inside the hotel shows demonstrators staging a sit-in, holding banners, chanting slogans, and condemning federal immigration enforcement. Police moved in after protesters repeatedly refused orders to leave the premises, arresting those who stayed behind. One protester said they were rallying because, quote, ICE is abducting our neighbors here in Minnesota and across the country, accusing Hilton of providing lodging to immigration agents in New York City. Local reports say around 60 protesters were arrested for trespassing and refusing to vacate the lobby. Outside the hotel, several hundred more demonstrators gathered, chanting against ICE and vowing to continue protests until federal agents leave the premises. Authorities have not confirmed whether ICE personnel were staying at the hotel during the demonstration. The protest comes amid a wave of nationwide anger following 2 fatal shootings involving federal immigration agents in Minneapolis this month. On January 24, 2026, 37-year-old intensive care nurse Alex Pretti was shot and killed during an immigration enforcement operation. Federal authorities claim a Border Patrol agent fired in self-defense after Pretti allegedly resisted disarmament. But widely circulated video footage shows a more complex confrontation, sparking public debate over whether Pretti posed an immediate threat. Weeks earlier, another federal officer shot and killed 37-year-old Mother Renee Nicole Good during a separate enforcement operation in the same city. Both deaths have triggered widespread protests and demands for accountability across the United States. Demonstrations that began in Minneapolis have now spread nationwide, with solidarity protests reported in cities including Chicago, San Francisco, and Boston. Back in Manhattan, protesters packed the small hotel lobby wearing shirts reading "Hilton houses ICE," demanding the hotel cut ties with federal immigration officers. The New York Police Department said officers issued multiple warnings before making arrests. While police did not immediately confirm final numbers, an Associated Press photographer witnessed dozens of protesters being detained and loaded onto buses outside the hotel. The protests show no signs of slowing, as anger over federal immigration enforcement continues to spill onto America's streets.
Sir, was Mr. Pretti acting as an assassin? Do you think he was acting as an assassin in Minneapolis? Mr. Pretti, your deputy chief of staff said that. You don't think so?
I think so with this latest shooting in the state.
But that being said, you can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns.
What about the Second Amendment?
Listen, you can't walk in with guns. You can't do that. But it's a very unfortunate incident.
In a stunning political twist, US President Donald Trump has been forced into a public retreat after initially amplifying claims that Alex Pretti was armed and dangerous, a portrayal now unraveling under intense scrutiny. Trump first denied knowing Pretti, then doubled down, arguing you can't walk with guns, even though Pretti was legally carrying under Minnesota law, triggering fierce backlash from gun rights advocates and allies alike. Now calling the killing an unfortunate incident, Trump softened his rhetoric while still insisting that open firearm possession at protests is unacceptable, sparking a fiery national debate over the Second Amendment, policing, and presidential accountability.
Sir, was Mr. Pretti acting as an assassin? Do you think he was acting as an assassin in Minneapolis? Mr. Pretti, your deputy chief of staff said that. You don't think so?
I think so with this latest shooting in the state.
But that being said, you can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns.
What about the Second Amendment?
Listen, you can't walk in with guns. You can't do that. But it's a very unfortunate incident.
The remarks come as newly released details from the Department of Homeland Security sharply contradict early speculation surrounding the fatal encounter involving US Border Patrol officers in Minneapolis. According to an initial report by Customs and Border Protection, 2 officers discharged their agency-issued weapons during a violent struggle with 37-year-old Alex Jeffrey Pretti, a US citizen, over the weekend. The report states that CBP personnel attempted to take Pretti into custody after he approached officers following an altercation involving civilians and law enforcement. Pretti reportedly resisted arrest, triggering a physical struggle that unfolded in full view of bystanders, many of whom captured the incident from multiple angles. During the confrontation, a Border Patrol agent is heard repeatedly shouting, "He's got a gun," as officers wrestled with Pretti on the ground. Roughly 5 seconds later, one Border Patrol agent fired a CBP-issued Glock 19, while a Customs and Border Protection officer discharged a Glock 47, according to the report. The document does not explicitly confirm whether bullets from both officers struck Pretti, but it confirms that law enforcement used their own firearms, not Pretti's weapon. This detail directly challenges earlier questions about whether Pretti's gun may have discharged during the struggle. A CNN analysis of available video footage indicates that an officer appeared to remove Pretti's firearm from his waistband moments before shots were fired. Following the shooting, a Border Patrol agent reported that he had possession of Pretti's firearm, later clearing and securing it inside his vehicle. CBP personnel then attempted life-saving measures, cutting Pretti's clothing and applying chest seals to his wounds as emergency protocols were activated. Despite these efforts, Pretti remained critically injured at the scene. More than 10 minutes later, Minneapolis Fire Department Emergency Services transported Pretti to Hennepin County Medical Center. He was pronounced dead at approximately 9:32 in the morning. The incident began earlier when a Border Patrol officer was confronted by two female civilians blowing whistles near the roadway. When ordered to move, the women refused, prompting the officer to push them aside, after which one ran to Pretti for assistance. That interaction escalated rapidly, ending in a fatal confrontation now being investigated by multiple agencies. The CBP report is the first official document to emerge from a series of ongoing probes, including investigations by Homeland Security Investigations and Minnesota's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. An autopsy is expected to be conducted by the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, with CBP investigators requesting official findings once completed. The results could play a critical role in determining whether criminal charges, policy changes, or disciplinary action follow.